Hi, this is Mananshal V. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to apply style changes to multiple titles all at the same time in LumaFusion. Consider the following scenario. I'm working on a travel project with dozens of lower thirds implemented as titles. The lower thirds have a format where the point of interest shows on top, followed by the corresponding country just below it, and a semi-transparent shape as the background. Notice also that I'm using sliding transitions to animate the title in and out of the screen. A template of the lower third has been saved as a user title and is reused to create graphics for every lower third in the project. For better organization, I have a track exclusively dedicated to lower thirds. By the end of the work, when all my lower thirds were already done and linked in place, each with its own unique point of interest and country, I was requested to change the style of the lower thirds so it would look like this. This means that now I need to update the style for all the dozens of lower thirds in my project while keeping the unique values of point of interest and country that I have already typed in for each title. This sounds like a lot of work, but I'll show you a way to update the lower thirds to the new style all at once while keeping the unique text values of each one of them as well as their in and out transitions. Let's start by observing the current lower third. The title editor shows three components: a semi-transparent shape used for background, then a text element used for the point of interest, and lastly, another text element used for the country. In LumaFusion, the order in the list determines which elements are in the foreground and which in the background. Lower in the list means more towards the foreground. Currently, both text elements obscure the shape used for the background. To illustrate this point, see what happens when I change the order of the elements. Let's revert everything back to its original order. Ignoring the shape, remember the order of the text items. Point of interest comes first in the list, and then country. Now let's create a new title that reflects the requested changes. This is how it looks once done. As with the original title, if we ignore the shapes, point of interest comes first in the list, and then country. Notice that while the old lower third had just those two text elements, the new lower third has an extra third text element that always reads MVE. If again we ignore the shapes, this text element is placed last in the list, after point of interest and country. Now let's figure out why the order of the text elements is important. Shortly, we'll be updating all the lower thirds to the new style, all at once. This is how LumaFusion will be mapping text elements in the old lower third to text elements in the new lower third. First, it will ignore all the shapes in both the old and new titles. Then, it will match text elements based on their position in the list. It will match the old point of interest text element to the new point of interest text element. And it will match the old country text element to the new country text element. It won't be able to match the extra third text element that reads MVE, and it will leave it as it is. Notice that in this scenario, the old lower third has less text elements than the new one. If the opposite would have been true, and the old lower third would have had more text elements than the new one, those extra text elements would have been deleted in the update process according to their position in the list. Now let's save this title as a user title so we can reuse it. Give it a meaningful name so you can recognize it. Let's exit back to the timeline. Now let's update all the lower thirds in the project to the new style with one single action. Multi-select all the lower thirds in your project. it will select the in and out transitions as well, and that's fine. Tap on the Presets button on the bottom toolbar. Select the Titles tab. Locate the user title that you just created, containing the new lower third style. Tap on it once. Click the X to exit, and select the Multi-select option, and we're done. All the lower thirds have been updated to the new style at the same time while keeping the original text values and transition animations. So this is it for this episode. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to this channel, give it a like, and click on the bell so you're notified when I post new videos. Thank you for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.